They cut the electricity for days, but they couldn't cut the connection between the Lord and his slaves. They refused them water and international aid, but Gaza still flows with praise. And someone somewhere in the midst of it all is less worried when the next bomb will fall and more worried when the next adhan will call. While the world plays tug of war with words for the people of Gaza, somewhere someone missing both father and mother or baby sister and brother and has already accepted the notion of Qadr has no greater concern than the direction of Kaaba, bowing with perfection while expecting Shahada, no guarantee that they'll make it to Fajr, back and forth debates without any solutions. They no longer wait for the far too late intervention of humans. Somehow, someone in the midst of the ruins in a desperate attempt to resist the confusion is still worried if they'll find enough water for sufficient ablution. When you've surrendered your fate to the Lord of the throne, you're more ready to answer the phone when he calls you home. And whether it came in the form of sickness or explosive bombs, we've seen them face the test and embrace death with open arms, with prostration and supplication and open palms through patience and prayer. The devastation they've overcome. They can sense the scent of musk in the skies even before the blood dries. We've seen their laughter as if they've seen the hereafter with their own eyes. They turned off the lights and left them in the dark, but the light of Allah was still emanating from their hearts. We've seen the wildfire of faith spread from their sparks to reach people in places you never would have thought. They wish to put out the light of Allah with their lives, but Allah perfects his light despite those who despise. They cut the electricity for days, but they couldn't cut the connection between the Lord and his slaves. They refused them water and international aid, but Gaza still flows with praise. They tried so hard to censor their every word, but their Lord ensured that their cry was heard. They are the living and we are the dead. We lag behind in dread while they bravely journey ahead. May Allah accept their martyrs and bring an end to their slaughter and take us not to account for the people of Gaza. Ameen. The children of Gaza learn how to play in places that were occupied. It's no wonder they can still play under apartheid. But between the games of hide and seek outside, they seek and they hide in preparation for another day on the dark side. When the playgrounds of Gaza become graveyards for toddlers, where they once played games like cops and robbers, the new game now is to lay down and pretend to be martyrs, because kids make games to resemble their fathers. When life is just a sick, twisted game of divide and conquer, and babies are the primary targets for rocket launches. Say goodnight to the knights in shining armor. There are only werewolves left and men who've turned to monsters, bloodthirsty vampires who feed on youngsters, hiding in plain sight between the swing set and the dumpsters. This game of King of the Hill has gotten way too real. Entire nations are engaged in their plan to kill. I'm sorry, Jabril, but this is not a drill. The fire alarms and the bombs are real. Those little toy soldiers are armed to kill. Those little boys grew older and became monsters for real. And the sandboxes where you once took your blocks to build have been transformed into bunkers for battlefields. They used to play freeze tag as if their life depended. But if they freeze now, their life is ended. Tagged by a sniper's bullet who doesn't think twice when he decides to pull it. Cowboys and Indians isn't fun as it once seemed when the schoolyard bully has returned for his turn on the swings, but now he's got a gun and he's coming back for his childhood dreams. Nothing more fun to him than seeing kids run and scream. Hiding under the slide, hoping for the school bell to ring, a little Palestinian king pretends to be David and finds a rock to sling. But there is no more school, and there is no more bell, and there are no more rules, and there is only hell. And the graveyards of Gaza are now the playgrounds for toddlers, because there's no place safe now to play around and wander. And the new game now is to lay down and pretend to be martyrs, because kids make games to resemble their fathers. The children of Gaza learn how to play in places that were occupied. It's no wonder they can still play under apartheid. But between the games of hide and seek outside, they seek and they hide in preparation for another day on the dark side. Either the criminals live and the innocent die, or honesty is dead and we're living a lie. They spill our blood, they bomb our lands, they kill our brothers and sisters in Islam, murder by the millions, indiscriminate killing of women and children, and everybody is a target, even civilians. Another bystander dead with his face in the mud, using taxpayer dollars to pay for their blood. And you actually have the audacity to ask me to condemn the oppressed for responding to 75 years of duress, 3.5 generations of occupation and death, underneath the rubble with bricks on their chests, and others in the gravel with boots on their necks. And when their reaction is not even a fraction of what they've had to survive, you ask me to condemn them for defending their property and their lives. I do not condone the killing of innocent people, and I am 1,000% against all forms of evil. But before I condemn the victims of decades of abuse, let me first condemn the media for distorting the truth. Yes, I condemn you, and I condemn the one who gave you a platform to speak. I condemn your twisted narrative and the outcomes that you seek. You sanctify the oppressor and you demonize the weak. I condemn the lies that you teach and the manner in which you think. I condemn your expectations and your offensive accusations. I condemn the blatant lies and the baseless allegations that you shamelessly share on every station. I condemn the propaganda and the slander and the constant double standards, as if context is complex, can be reduced to one-word answers. I condemn the utter hypocrisy and the oceans of blood you spill in the name of global democracy. Why should we remember the death of oppressors with heavy guns and armor and forget the deaths of the unarmed, innocent children of Gaza? I condemn the ignorance of the public for being gullible and naive. I condemn the heartless journalist that gets paid to deceive. I condemn every blind patriot who loudly and proudly defends the crimes of this nation, passing judgment on people based on misinformation. I condemn the hands that move the pen of legislation in favor of occupation. Your quest for world dominance has brought about annihilation for nearly an entire population, but I will not beg my oppressors to stop. I will not ask liberation from other than God. I do not expect two-faced politicians to be on my side. I don't need them. I don't want them. I am better off without the facade. They are not worthy of my allegiance, even if they tried. This is a plight for the faithful to win, and the very first victory is to leave off sin. The true allegiance that we need is in obedience to Him. For when Allah is on your side, you don't need another friend. To my Palestinian brothers and sisters who live and breathe the resistance, who refuse to leave our women and children vulnerable and defenseless, there is nothing more revolutionary than your very existence in the midst of one of the worst apartheids this world has ever witnessed. Your life is my life. Your breath is my breath. Your blood is my blood. Your death is my death. I pray for your freedom as I pray for myself, and I am with you in Gaza, waiting for divine help. Allah, you are the only help that we will ever need. If we don't have your assistance, then we will never succeed. Creator of the heavens and the earth and all of its keys, we call upon you, Al-Fattah, until Palestine is freed. We call upon you, Al-Fattah, until Palestine is freed. We call upon you, Al-Fattah, until Palestine is freed. Ameen.